pregnancy and men, morning sickness and men, weight gain and men. Tonight, Scott Bakula is playing the part on Quantum Leap. We'll talk with Scott, and we'll talk with some real dads-to-be who say they get the symptoms, too. A closer look. Hi, everybody. I'm Faith Daniels, and welcome to A Closer Look. Pregnancy just isn't what it used to be. Men no longer look the other way for 9 months. Nowadays, husbands are expected to get involved. In fact, some men are getting so involved that it's almost like being pregnant themselves, complete with some of their wives' complaints. So much so that researchers say up to 65% of expectant fathers actually experience pregnancy-like symptoms. Here's a closer look from NBC's Keith Morrison in Burbank. Bakula of Quantum Leap will talk about playing a pregnant woman on TV and about being a father in real life. We're talking today about men in pregnancy, how some men come down with the same symptoms as their pregnant wives. Television fiction has added a new twist, though. On the NBC series Quantum Leap, actor Scott Bakula plays a scientist who jumps from present to past in and out of different characters. Tonight, when Leap moves to a new time slot at 10, he's an Oklahoma teenage girl in the 50s who's pregnant.
It's so hot in here. Hot flashes.
Huh?
I'm having hot flashes.
You're not having hot flashes.
Yeah, right, and I'm not having cravings, but I'm sitting here eating Jell-O and onions. Al, read my lips. Now I'm pregnant.
Scott is a dad himself, but he still had to do his homework to get into the role. Scott is with us today from Los Angeles. Hi, Scott.
Good morning.
You've worn dresses on your show, but this is a leap even for you.
Yeah. It is. This is probably one of the greatest ones, though.
How did you react when the writers told you you'd be doing this?
Well, I was really very happy. I'd been after them from the beginning to do an episode like this because the nature of the show is such that we can do this and I think do it with great, certainly different than anybody else does it.
Different is a word, yeah.
Yeah. And I was, I don't know if jealous is the right word, but I was certainly envious of my wife when she was pregnant, and I always wanted to know what it felt like, and knowing that I couldn't know, this is the closest thing to it.
Yeah, what do you think now that you know?
Well, it's a lot of work. I mean, I got this this empathy belly that I wore around, which weighs about 33 pounds, I think, and it was wonderful in helping me simulate the physical problems that you have. And that started me on the road, and then just the rest of it, delivering and contractions and transition. Because of the nature of film, I was in transition for like 16 hours because we shot a whole day. So I was exhausted by the end of it.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. You actually did not wear that, though, when you were filming, because I saw the episode last night. You didn't have that on.
No. Again, the nature of the show is that the people in the story see the real girl. So I don't need to myself look pregnant. But I wore it to get a sense of what it was like to lie down on your back and feel like your insides were being pushed out your back and to bend over and pick something up and find yourself pitching into the wall, you know, head first. It was really very valuable to me.
What was the weirdest thing about it?
The pain. I mean, the neck strain on your neck and on your back. I slept in it one night, and I didn't sleep hardly at all the whole night because it just throws all of your balance totally off.
You really got into the part, so to speak. I mean, you went through the pain of labor. You even had your feet in the stirrups.
Yeah, those cold, nasty stirrups.
And now you know what that's like, too, huh, Scott?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How does your wife react to all this? Has she seen it?
She hasn't seen it yet. I'm really anxious for her to see it tonight. I did some things that were definitely reflective of her pregnancy, which I'm anxious for her to see, because they're things that we both remember very fondly from her pregnancy that were just they're personal things. But she was very happy. She put this belly on and said, "Thank goodness you have 9 months to get ready for that weight, because all at once it's pretty much of a shock."
All right. Hang on there, Scott. We're going to take a break, and we'll come right back and talk with Scott Bakula some more about his role as a pregnant girl.
Quantum leap?
Quantum leap.
Leaps back to Wednesday nights and gives birth to the biggest leap ever.
Oh, God. Now I'm pregnant. It's impossible.
What's happening?
It's highly irregular.
It's Quantum Leap on its new night, tonight at 10, 9 Central on NBC.
We're back now on A Closer Look talking to Scott Bakula of Quantum Leap, who tonight plays a pregnant teenage girl in the 50s. Your wife had to look at you sideways when she rolled over in bed in the middle of the night and saw you wearing that contraption.
She actually wasn't home. She was out of town.
Oh, lucky for you, you did it in the privacy of your own home with no one watching.
Right, absolutely.
Your daughter's 7 years old now. When your wife was pregnant, did you have any of those symptoms? Did you gain weight or have cravings or any of those things?
I don't believe that I did. I was so into kind of watching my wife and trying to learn and see what she was going through that it never really transferred to me. Now she's probably sitting at home saying, "Oh yeah, but what about?" But I don't think so. I was really into her and what was going on with her body.
What about in labor? Were you good?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I have to admit that when we first started getting pregnant, that's an interesting phrase. When we first found out we were pregnant, I had misgivings about the whole labor situation. But the more I got involved and the more I knew about it, the more I knew that there was no way I wouldn't be there. And it was great. She had a very tough labor. She was in labor for about 48 hours. And we went through 2 days of no sleep and not able to eat and 5 baths and all of those good things.
That sounds miserable.
So we were both pretty tired. She, of course, was much more tired than I was by the end of it. But it's a pretty remarkable thing. It's an incredible miracle, and I felt very fortunate that I was able to be there, and felt bad that there are a lot of fathers that missed that in earlier times. Sure.
When you were going through the motions on the set and going through the pain and the difficulty walking, how did you gauge whether you were doing it right?
Oh, you know, that's something you just have to, you rely on your director, Jimmy Whitmore Jr., who's terrific, and my own intuition, and Dean helped a lot. And there are lots of people that have experience with pregnancy, so you have a lot of input. I talked with a lot of friends. Coincidentally, we have a lot of girlfriends who were pregnant then, had just recently delivered. And so I spoke to them a lot about what is a contraction.
For anyone who has ever wondered what it's like to see a man pregnant, they'll be watching tonight, you can bet.
Great.
Thanks, Scott Bakula. Take care.
Thank you, Faith.
Always good to talk to you. Closer Look will be
too.
back in a minute.